It's Monday, August 8th, 2022. Markets pretty much flat today. A big pullback in these markets. But I'm not going to talk about the markets today. I want to talk a little bit more about the economy, about inflation, and I want to respond to a comment that I read last night. And I'm just going to paraphrase to this comment. The poor have been living without nothing for millions of years. And don't worry about the economy. Don't worry about people being poor. Well, here's the problem. People shouldn't be poor. The problem is, yes, there will always be poor people, but we are making people poor that shouldn't be poor. And we're doing it with these type of stimulus packages, corporate stimulus packages that have been passed. And it's going to add more people to the list of poor. And they shouldn't have to be poor. Problem is, and I want to respond to this gentleman, the problem is these people are being taxed to death, inflationed to death. They're having their money stolen from them. They're having their purchasing power stolen from them. So to this gentleman, you believe it's okay to give stimulus to corporate America that doesn't need it, that has trillions of dollars, but we're going to give more money to corporate America. We're going to give more money to other countries around the world. We're going to raise taxes on the working class, the working poor now. And we're going to have this massive inflation caused by the recklessness spending by our leaders. That's okay. While these people paid into taxes and deserve much, much more representation than they're getting, they go from the working class to the working poor, paying their taxes like good citizens, and in return, they get punished by inflation and taxation. How about weaponizing the IRS to come after these people? Is that okay too? To make them even more poor? You know, people are so concerned about when I say the economy's collapsing, people are going broke. I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. These people are literally that say that I'm wrong. They are zombies. They are so dumbed down that we're always going to have poor. Don't worry about it. The economy's fine. You, unfortunately, are a zombie. You really are. And I feel sorry for you because you're probably poor already and you're about to get even more poor because you just accept this, that this is okay. This is acceptable behavior to you. I completely think it's wrong. I think it's completely illegal, immoral, horrific, and repulsive. So I just wanted to respond just briefly to that. And again, I just paraphrased that comment. But just because we've had poor, we should just have more poor. And we should just make and create more poor. These people right now that are going poor shouldn't have to be poor. I cannot reiterate that enough. We are creating poverty right here in the U.S., that poverty that shouldn't be here. We're creating it. TheEconomicCollapse.com, a new survey has just discovered that this is the most pessimistic that Americans have been about the economy since 2008. I'm going to paraphrase through this article. A new recession has begun. Inflation is wildly out of control. The housing market is in the beginning stages of a historic crash. More people are falling out of the middle class, according to this article, and so many economic trends begin to accelerate. Like the trend of people going broke, the housing trend, the inflation trend, you name it. So many trends going on. And it's all beginning to accelerate now. We're going to see more unemployment, no matter what the figures, and no matter what data they give us. You know as well as I do, inflation is much higher than 3.5%. We are, again, at the beginning stages of a historic housing crash. This is going to accelerate. Layoffs going to accelerate. Inflation going to accelerate. More people are falling out of the middle class. The working class is now becoming the working poor. ABC News poll taken on Sunday found 69% of Americans claim the economy is getting worse. Are they right? Are they wrong? What do you think? I think it is getting much worse. The primary reason we have so much inflation is because our politicians, our leaders have borrowed and spent way too much money, and now they want to spend even more. Yesterday, they passed the $750 billion Reduction Act. This is far from any type of reduction. And again, I'm not political. I'm a political atheist. I'm not here to get political. Make up your own mind about what is happening. But this Reduction Act, $740 billion, this is not going to reduce inflation, and all of you know it. It is going to create more inflation, and this is inflation we're going to see begin in 2023 and 2024. Remember, there's a delayed response when they start printing and borrowing this money. You're not going to see the inflation immediately. It takes time to work into the system. So this is going to guarantee more problems next year for all of us. Most Americans should get ready for their standard of living to go down. We're watching that happen right now. Yes. If you watched yesterday's video, I spoke about a house that I passed with 12 cars parked in front of it. And no, it was not a party. I also mentioned a friend of mine who has 12 people living in the house next door to him. This is becoming more and more common. And this is the standard of living for the average American going down, where people have to move in with other people. When you live in a 2,000 square foot house with 12 people, your standard of living isn't increasing, it's going down, and people are now having and being forced to do this. So this is just supporting what I've been saying. And many of you have responded in the comments saying that you're seeing the same thing. More people living in a single family residence. You're seeing kids moving back home, family members moving in together. Just think about what they're doing. They are going to print and borrow more money to fix this problem. And this is how we got into the problem. So we're going to pass another $740 billion of borrowed and printed money, put that into the system. How do you think we got where we're at right now? By printing and borrowing money. And we think we're going to solve the problem by doing the same thing that got us into the same mess. Think about that, how ridiculous this is. We talk about this booming economy. Americans piled on another $40.1 billion of debt in June alone. Americans are piling up credit card debt at an alarming rate and taking on extra jobs. Yesterday or the day before, I can't even remember, people accused me of exaggerating, of lying, because I said people are working 4, 5 jobs. Well, you can't do that. That's impossible. You can't do that. No, you can do that. At one point, I was working 4 jobs. So don't tell me that you can't work 4 jobs. Did I work 4 jobs in one day? No. Did I work 4 jobs in a week? Absolutely. I worked 4 different jobs in a week, 3 jobs on a regular basis during a week. No problem. I would take on a 4th job when I could. So it is not impossible to work 4 or 5 jobs. People are doing it. People are working 2 and 3 jobs in one day. You may work 2 or 3 jobs in one day, go to another job tomorrow, and you might work 2 other jobs on Thursday. I'm not saying that people are working 5 jobs in one day, but there's no doubt that a lot of people are working 2 and 3 side hustles a day, without a doubt. And can you work 4 and 5 jobs a week? No doubt about it. I can work for 3 clients today. I can work for 2 different employers tomorrow. People are juggling this. People are juggling their life. They're working multiple jobs. And, unfortunately, it's people sitting on the couch who will sit there and say, you can't do that. You can't work 3 or 4 or 5 jobs. You can't do that. These are the people that are probably sitting at home waiting for some type of stimulus check, waiting for the system to bail them out, help them out. But I'm here to tell you, yes, you can do it. And many people know that because they're doing it right now. At this point, half of all workers are working at least 1 extra job right here in the U.S. And they're barely getting by, if they're getting by at all. People are beginning to realize that they have been lied to. and they've been lied to multiple times. They were told to stay home, collect money, everything's going to be fine, inflation's temporary, the economy's going to open back up, it's going to be bigger and better than ever, nothing to worry about, don't pay your rent, go out, buy a car, in fact, go buy a house, borrow and spend money you don't have, everything's going to be fine. And people have been bamboozled into this lifestyle, and now the rug has been pulled out from under their feet, and they are in big, big trouble. The truth is, the future is not bright for the U.S. economy. In fact, the times that we are moving into will be far more horrible than most people would dare to imagine. That might trigger some people. I know people are getting very nervous. They're going to write in the comments that the economy's just fine. They're doing great. Everything's fine in their town of Mayberry. Nothing to worry about. We have a lot to worry about, ladies and gentlemen, because as a country, as a whole, we are bankrupt. Morally, spiritually, and financially, and physically too. Because when you look at the average person, they are not prepared for what is coming physically. I cannot believe the condition of the average person in America. It is absolutely appalling that people take absolutely no pride in their appearance, no pride in their health. It's really, really sad how far down we have fallen. And what is really scary is the dependency on pharmaceuticals. And when things really begin to get bad here, and people cannot get those pharmaceuticals, that could happen with what's happening now with the whole Taiwan issue and China. If they began to cut us off from pharmaceuticals, a lot of people are going to be in big trouble. This is the time, and I cannot stress this enough, to get in better physical shape. Get your health in order, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm appalled, and this isn't to judge anybody, to ridicule or make fun of anybody. I'm concerned about you, I really am, and I could be in better shape myself, no doubt about it, but I'm working on that. And maybe I'll do a video on that at some point down in the future here, but I look at the average person, 50, 60, 80, 100 pounds overweight now, and this has become acceptable. You are going to shorten your life, and when the bad times really get here, you are going to suffer like you never thought you would suffer. Your body is the temple. You're going to need your body to get through these tough times. And so many people are going to have a very difficult time getting through this because they have just completely allowed their bodies to collapse like this economy. I want to switch gears here. And I want to talk about an interview that I saw on Fox Business this morning, and they had a gentleman, head of one of the hotel associations in Los Angeles, and I could not believe this. This is how incredibly bad things have become in California and the twilight zone that we are living here in California. They have a hotel voucher program, and voters in LA are going to vote to decide if hotels have to take in homeless people into their hotels. And if they vote for this, the hotels will be required to accept these vouchers. Now, I have sympathy for homeless people. You know that. We go out, we feed them, we feed their dogs, and I have a lot of sympathy for people. There's a lot of mental health disorders in America where nobody's getting help. We can send money all over the world, but we can't help people with mental disorders right here in America. We have vets sleeping on the streets of America that need help. We have addicts who need help. I believe that if we're the wealthiest nation on planet Earth, why are we not taking care of our own people? Yes, I know we are bankrupt. But if we're going to print money out of thin air, at least let's print money out of thin air to help the people right here in America instead of people 10,000 miles away that we don't even know. We personally don't know those people. We don't even know where most of these places are on a map, yet we're sending billions of dollars over to these places. I know that we have homeless people right up the street, less than a mile from my house. There's homeless people. There's homeless people all over this county. There's homeless people all over LA County, San Diego County. I've been there, I filmed it, you've seen it. But this doesn't justify forcing hotels to take in homeless people. We had 11.2 thousand aggravated assaults in LA County this year so far. A lot of these people have very serious issues. And to put these people, to mix these people into hotels where people might be visiting for business or vacation, have families, have kids, to be mixing in this type of element into a hotel, I think that's very, very dangerous. And who's going to compensate for the liability issues if somebody does get assaulted, if somebody does get killed? Who's gonna compensate the liability? Would you want to be in a hotel room next to a couple of homeless people with mental disorders or drug addictions? Another question. This is going to be absolutely catastrophic for the hotel industry in Los Angeles if they pass this. This is not safe. It's not healthy. Just think again about, the hepatitis outbreaks and all these other type of outbreaks we've had in LA County over the years, and you're going to be putting this in hotels. Again, it's very unsafe. It's unsanitary. There's huge health issues, huge risk here. And this is going to put a lot of hotels in Los Angeles out of business because people will just stay in the outlying areas if they're going to come to LA to do business or vacation. They won't stay at a hotel in LA. They'll stay maybe outside in Orange County. So absolute insanity with what is happening here in California, and they just seem to want to destroy business here in California. Another article today, amid inflation, people desperate for cash are turning to pawn shops. They interviewed Rick Nelson. You've seen his pawn shop show, I'm sure, Pawn Stars. He said people are pawning items that they never thought they would ever pawn. I talked to my buddy today who works at a pawn shop, and he said that the pawns are up over the last few months, are up over 20%. He said what he really found amazing was that people are bringing in gold, selling gold. And this would be, in my opinion, the worst possible time to sell gold. By the way, gold had a nice day today, up over $14. I think we're sitting a little bit above $18.05 an ounce. Silver had a nice day, up around 80 cents. But they're not bringing in the big screen TVs. They're not bringing in electronics. They're bringing in gold, and they're selling gold. And this is, to me, again, the worst possible time to be selling your gold off. But if you're forced to, you're forced to. But, people out there would say, oh, when times get bad, your gold will be worthless. Well, times are getting bad right now, and people are able to sell that gold and they're getting spot price for it. So if you sold a gold coin today at this particular coin shop, some are paying over spot, but this particular coin shop will pay you $18.05 today. And if you need the money, if you need the cash to pay bills, to go buy groceries, well, here's another example how you would take physical gold to an establishment such as a coin shop. Wouldn't be my first choice, but they're going to give you $18.05 for a coin today, and you could go buy groceries and pay your rent. So that's how it's done. So even in bad times, these people who believe it's a barbarous relic, that it's going to be worthless in a depression, quite the opposite. People are going to go to businesses such as pawn shops, or they're going to go to coin shops, or they're going to go to these precious metal dealers. They're going to go to jewelry stores, and they're going to sell this for spot or even above spot. There's a couple places out here that will pay above spot. And they're going to get cash. So they're going to be able to take physical gold, convert it into a currency like the US dollar, and go and buy stuff. And that's exactly what people will do during the worst of times. Or they're just going to trade it for other assets. But this is the worst possible time, in my opinion, to be selling gold. But if you're desperate, you got to do what you got to do. Consumer confidence in the housing market hits the lowest point in over a decade. This on CNBC today. Get this, just 17% of people surveyed in July said now is a good time to buy a home, down from the 20% in June. 67% said that it's a good time to list their home. Just 76% 2 months ago said it was a good time to list their home. So people beginning to realize that we're seeing a big cooling off in the housing market. The Hedge today, here are the winners and losers in the Inflation Reduction Act. Private equity fund managers are winners. The IRS, definitely a winner with $80 billion over the next 10 years and 86,000 new agents. Electric car makers are big winners. Solar and hydrogen companies are big winners. The losers, well, you know who the losers are. The losers are you and I. How will any of this improve your life? Please comment down below. Private equity fund managers winning, the IRS winning, electric car makers, and solar and hydrogen companies winning. Does this help you in any way possible? Does this corporate stimulus package help you in any way? Comment down below. What we're about to see is an avalanche of inflation. And here's another one from The Hedge. Another travel weekend from hell. 950 U.S. flights canceled and thousands more delayed. I'm going to close with this. The system is so dysfunctional now. We cannot unload ships. We cannot produce things in America. We cannot even get airplanes to get off the ground and get to their destinations now. The system is so dysfunctional. Have you ever seen anything like this? I've never seen in my entire life so much dysfunction taking place in America. Do we even know how to do anything at this point here in America? We have people that know how to spend money that they don't have. We have airlines that cannot get planes off the ground. We have ships sitting offshore that cannot get unloaded. It is a complete and utter mess. And this does not give me much faith for the future. Comment down below. What do you think? I mean, you look at what is happening to the system here in America. Our power grid completely vulnerable. 6 months to get a transformer imported into America. You know, that's unacceptable. Think about that. 6 months to import, not make, but to import transformers into America. We are unprepared for a cyber attack. We are unprepared for grids going down. We cannot get planes to take off. We cannot get ships unloaded. We cannot get trucks loaded. We cannot get items delivered. Incredible. We have a food crisis now erupting in America. We cannot get food to the food charities. I don't know how much worse this can get, but I believe it is going to get much worse. And it is just so disappointing to see how far we are falling here in America. And the average person walks around like a zombie. They have no idea what the heck is going on. And worse, they have no idea what is about to happen. And these people are pawns. They are sheep, and they are just not going to stand a chance. They really aren't. They really aren't. And I'm really, really worried about how bad this can get. And I don't know about you. I'm watching this, and I see the warning signs every day about why I need to be preparing better. Things I need to strengthen up in my life, in my preparations, getting closer with God. And I mean, this could get really gnarly, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to. It really is. While the average person is oblivious, walking around like a zombie. I'm going to leave it there today. I'm really disappointed with where this is all going and how we're just going to continue to print more money. And we're being told this is how we fix the problem. Either they're that dumb or they're just lying to us. And I believe they're not that dumb. This is extremely dangerous. It's extremely reckless. This threatens your standard of living. It threatens your pensions. It threatens your purchasing power. It threatens your future, ladies and gentlemen, what they're doing right now. And if this does not stop soon, if we do not reverse course soon, if we cannot stop the spending and the printing of money, you're going to see America fall into being a third world country. And I was talking to a gentleman today when I was at the grocery store. California is looking more and more like a third world country. And that's so sad. One of the most beautiful states in America, how far it has fallen. And it didn't have to happen. It did not have to happen, but it was allowed to happen. And now we have literally a third world now here in California. Another reason why I will be leaving. Please give this video a thumbs up, share it, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification down below. I look forward to speaking with all of you very, very soon. God bless all of you. Stay safe out there.